Namaskar, myself Anupam. Today we are going to discuss moral and ethical values. Values, by the definition, are the standards of good and bad, which governs an individual's behavior and choices in life. Like what we think is good for us, we indulge ourselves in doing that activity, and what we believe it's bad for me, and some people think it will be bad for the society, that's why they don't indulge in that. So most of the time moral values of an individual are derived from the society, the customs, the norms prevalent around that individual. Maybe sometimes morals are the decisions of good and bad are influenced from the religious beliefs, or very few people believe that moral values are self-governed, that are not imposed out of the pressure of the society or the customs or because of the religious beliefs or because of the family interventions. They regulate their life, their living standards as per their thought process of distinction between good and bad. So there are three kinds of moral values. First type of moral value is customary morality. As the name suggests, it's been derived from the word custom. Customs are the rituals prevalent in one's family. So every family, every individual in the society have their agreed norms to behave in that particular society. So these norms act as a framework which an individual follows as a part of those society members. So violation of any kind of these social moral norms invites us for the social criticism. So it's preferable by the majority of individuals to follow the customary morality or the customs without questioning them, because they don't want to feel any kind of social criticism. For example, marriage, family relation, public behavior, festivals we follow. Apart from questioning any of these things, we follow that. Next is the religious morality. It's been derived from the word religion. It believes that there is the existence of supernatural power that is termed as in God, and religious books are inspired from the existence of the God, and whatever been written in those religious books, we need to follow that without questioning those norms and values. For example, whatever the religious ceremonies being followed in our country India are being inspired from whatever is being written in those holy spiritual books. In the last type of morality is reflective morality. It's been different from the earlier two kinds of morality, as it states that for living our life we need to accept the social norms, spiritual norms, but still as an individual being you need to decide upon and define upon what is right, what is good, and what is bad. Because of reflective morality only, the evils of the society has been discriminated. Like for example, earlier a very famous pratha, sati pratha, was famous in the Indian Hindu culture, but some people who followed reflective morality, they questioned these norms on the social, spiritual, and aesthetic grounds, and maintained a equal image and groundwork for the women in the society. So these must be framed by human beings by taking into account the realities of healthy human and social life. So reflective morality is based on the larger perception of life rather than just imposing the values by the name of social norms, materialistic value system. Because of spiritual guidelines, reflective morality believes that humanity is above all. Next is the principle of morality. What should be considered if you are following the laws of the morality? So Kant has developed some general principles that are being followed as a moral laws of morality. He divided these into the three categories. The first is the principle of universality. It's been derived from the word universal. That means it will be applicable on all, in spite of your social position, in spite of your the monetary benefits you have, the laws will be equal and will be applicable on all. Next is the principle of humanity as an end in itself. It's very beautiful. The name itself explains the worth of it. Like, it's very hard to implement, and we ourselves sometimes don't implement it. Like, we don't need a reason to accept the other individual. Only one thing that is required is the other person is human. Rest doesn't matter. Your caste, your color, your gender, your background, your family background, your position, anything is useless. You just need to take the decision of good and bad, right and wrong, just on the terms of humanity. And the last principle is principle of autonomy. Autonomy says that moral standards adopted by an individual should arise out because of our own beliefs. It's not because of the external pressure. I need to follow some rituals because I believe in those rituals. It's not because of the pressure of social criticism I am following that. So majority of us follow or live the standards that are set up by the society, by the family, by the friends, but not what I like. So today onwards, practice a session of self-acceptance and self-imposed moral laws. You will do what you believe is correct for the society. But here I'll make sure that your practices, your moral laws will not harm the society, the humanity at all. Next is the ethics. Ethics is the code of conduct that instruct us on what we ought and what we ought not to do, what we are supposed to do, what is right, what my action is wrong. So it's related to moral judgments about right and wrong. And believe me, on a broader perspective, right and wrong again sometimes being measured by the human barriers. So factors to be considered in making ethical judgments are three factors, that is very precisely motive, nature and consequences. Now I'll explain. Motive, from which the action springs. What is the motivational force behind doing that particular work? Suppose there is an old lady, she is suffering from some severe disease. I'm helping her out. I'm giving her timely medicines, offering her good food, healthy food. So, what's the motive behind? One, the motive can be to help the old one because she is all alone and she is suffering. Another motive can be she possesses a good monetary benefit. So, if I'll help her in her tough times, maybe in future she'll offer me some handsome amount of money. So, motive matters. Why I'm doing something? I'm possessing my good behavior because of I want some rewards in returns, favorism in returns. What's the motive? Next is the nature of the act itself, including means adopted. Now, how I am helping someone, means adopted. Uh, the means adopted are right, ethical, or means adopted are wrong, unethical. To help the old lady by offering her the medicines and the good food, do I am cheating someone? Do I am bribing someone for to have the medicines, or I am opening the ethical norms? The last factor that is being considered for ethical judgment is consequences. What will be the result of that? Many times we follow the two norms, motive and nature of the act itself. What means are adopted, but we forget about the consequences, present and future consequences. That's why I said earlier, live up to the standard set up by yourself, but by taking care of its prospective, its benefits, or its countermeasures to your future generations, to the society that we belong to. So, means adopted and consequences are very much effective in judging the ethical decision making perspectives. Thank you.